This video is about the new moon in Taurus. You'll receive Ching and tarot guidance as to how to work with these energies, and you will get 3 questions to ask yourself at the time of this new moon and during this moon cycle to get the best out of what is unfolding. Welcome everyone, I'm Michelle Oberholzer. I am the Oracle of the Central Sun. This channel is about spirituality, about tarot, astrology, and general spiritual guidance. So this new moon that we are having in Taurus on either the 16th or the 17th of May, depending on your time zone, looks like a really harmonious kind of energy. There's a lot of supportive energies at the time of this new moon. The aspects that the planets are making are more supportive, and I'll talk you through this. You'll see that there's a lot of good things at the time of this new moon. Now, this new moon is happening at 25 degrees and 57 minutes of Taurus, so basically 26 degrees of Taurus, and it is happening where I'm at in South Africa on the 16th of May at 1 minute past 10 p.m. in the evening. So for some people it might be earlier in the day on the 16th, and for some people on the 17th of May. Now we have the sun and the moon always coming together at the time of a new moon. This means a new cycle is starting. And with the sun and the moon, the cycle that unfolds is the shortest cycle that we deal with in astrology, as the moon moves the fastest. So it is round about 29.5 days that we are working with this cycle that starts at the time of this new moon. Now, Taurus is an energy that is connected to Venus. Venus is the ruler of this new moon. So what we are dealing with at this time is that earthy side of Venus. We are dealing with our connection to love, to money, to our values. We are dealing with our connection to nature and how we work with our relationships in general. At the time of this new moon, we also have the sun and the moon sitting right next to Mercury. Mercury is sitting at 28 degrees of Taurus at the time of this new moon. So there's a lot of mercurial energy in this new moon as well. And the energies that Mercury brings is all about working with our mind, working with communication. Mercury is also related to money matters in that it is related to commerce and those online transactions and how we deal with digital money and these things nowadays. So a lot to do with working with the mind and communication patterns in terms of Mercury and this new moon as well. Now, for this new moon chart in general, I drew a card that represents the entire chart, and I received the Temperance card. And this is a lovely, lovely energy for this new moon, as it is all about a sense of balance and harmony, and also a sense of looking for and working with a sense of moderation in some part of our lives. Now, you can look at the symbology on this card. The angel is standing with 1 foot on the earth, 1 foot in the water. So there's a sense of balance between earth and water, and a sense of balance between mind and heart. And you can also see in this card that the angel is pouring water from one cup to the other in that effort to restore balance between the two cups. And when there's cups in the tarot, it is always about our emotions. So there's some sense of achieving a new sense and embodying a new sense of emotional balance and moderation at the time of this new moon. So, like I said, Venus is the ruler of this new moon. And Venus at the time of this new moon is moving towards the end of Gemini. So Venus is sharing the sign of Gemini with Uranus at the moment. And Uranus is right at the start. Uranus has now moved to 1 degree of Gemini. And Venus is sitting at 27 degrees of Gemini. So this creates a harmony in terms of Venus and Mercury. And Mercury is so closely conjunct this new moon that it really is quite an influential energy. So what is happening at the time of this new moon is something that we call in astrology mutual reception. And all this basically means is that Mercury is in the sign of Venus, and Venus is in the sign of Mercury. And what this means is that it creates an energy where it's easier for them to share their benefits. It's easier for them to communicate well with each other because they are familiar with the energies of the houses where they are traveling. So this is also a lovely, lovely energy in terms of their, again, we're being called into this balance because Mercury is more about the head, Venus is more about the heart, and because of this mutual reception, it's also this invitation to find this balance between mind and heart and just integration between those two planets. So the card that I received for this lovely mutual reception between Mercury and Venus is the Three of Wands. And this is a lovely card because it is very much about expansion. The Three of Wands is that sense of overlooking new horizons. You know you are ready for new things to come. New things are arriving. You are planning for the future. There's a sense of anticipation of expansion that is just around the corner, and a sense of making progress in things that have been started. So this feels really good because Venus can bring that sense of passion for our expansion and progress when it comes to the Three of Wands, and Mercury brings that sense of planning for the future, maybe integrating different kinds of commerce and travel and all of these things that we may need in our expansion. So another lovely energy that is showing up at the time of this new moon. Now, Venus at 27 degrees of Gemini is also forming a sextile at the time with Chiron conjunct Mars. Chiron and Mars are sitting at 28 degrees of Aries, and they are sextiling Venus at the end of Gemini. Now, when Mars is sextiling Chiron, there's always a sense of healing the masculine. Healing the masculine energies, the yang energies inside all of us. Wounds and things may come to light, so that can be a more painful part of the experience, but there's always a sense of healing, revelation, and a sense of moving forward in a new way when a new cycle starts between any planet and Chiron. This is a new healing cycle for all of us in terms of masculine energies inside of us. Now, the sextile between Mars and Venus is also this beautiful, flowing, harmonious aspect between the masculine and the feminine. And we can take this literally or figuratively, because astrology shows up in all of these different ways. But again, just integration, balance, harmony between masculine and feminine can show up in different parts of our lives. And the card that I received for this is the Empress. And I love this card for the sextile between Venus with Mars and Chiron, because the Empress is actually very much associated with Venus. She even has the symbol of Venus there on the card. So with the Empress, the energy is very much about serenity. It is very much related to all things Venus, to money, to beauty, to creativity. This card is very much related to growth, creativity, abundance, opportunities, and the Empress is also very nurturing. So there is an invitation here at this time with the sextile between Venus and Mars to maybe nurture ourselves in terms of what we are integrating at this time in terms of the masculine and feminine energies. Another thing with this card is that sometimes it is a card of patience. So with these new cycles starting now, there may be things that we are being called to have a more surrendering energy with, in terms of like, with certain things, it's better to be in the flow and wait than it is to take action. And with the sextile between Mars and Venus, we have both of these at our disposal. Mars being that action element, Mars being more the feminine, Venus being more the feminine flow. So we have these at our disposal and we can choose which is appropriate for us at any given time. And then what is also very apparent at this time is that we have Pluto sextiling Neptune, and we also have Uranus sextiling Neptune. Now, because these outer planets are so slow moving, I don't work with a more than 3-degree separation between all of them. So right now, I don't count a trine between Pluto and Uranus, even though we are moving towards it in a few months' time. But for now, Pluto at the start of Aquarius is sextiling Neptune, and then Neptune at the start of Aries, and Uranus at the start of Gemini is also sextiling Neptune. Now, these three energies sextiling each other, it goes very, very, very deeply. There's a lot of awakening here. There's a lot of healing our shadows. There's a lot of really expanding our spirituality, tapping into illusions and truth, and all of these. There are so many elements associated with these three energies. And these energies between Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, they are in long-term conversation to each other right now. They're going to make exact sextiles and trines in a few months' time, and then later again in 2027 and 2028. So bear in mind, this is a long-term conversation that is happening where there's a lot of change and healing and transformation happening for us individually and for us as a collective on this planet. Now, for these sextiles between Pluto and Neptune, Uranus and Neptune, I received the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is always a card that looks a little bit brutal, and yet it is a 10 card. So yes, we could have each walked through a lot of painful experiences lately, and yet when this card shows up, the 10 is also an ending. If you look at this card, the night is there, very dark at the top, but the sun is starting to rise, so there's a new day is dawning. So this is also one of the symbologies of this card, is that yes, we've been through hardship, pain, but an ending is always a new beginning. The sun is rising, something painful has come to an end, a new cycle is starting, with all of these planets being in conversation with each other. Now, the theme that really came out when I was working with all of these energies is that the energies at the time of this new moon are really, really beautiful, and beautiful starts in terms of heart and mind and love and creativity and communicating in new ways. Such beautiful things are underway, and yet there is this message of we are so young and immature in these new energies that we need to treat ourselves very, very gently and move very, very gently, because we do not have all the answers yet. Now, the Ching guidance that I received for this new moon is hexagram number 4, and it is called In the Pocket Ching by Richard Wilhelm. It's called Youthful Folly, which is what I was just referring to. And it is all about this relationship between teacher and pupil. And the teacher can just be life, the teacher can be the universe, the teacher can be our experience, or the teacher can be a physical person. But this is all about walking with these energies of new opportunities and change, and being like a youth. We don't have all the answers yet. We don't know where all of these energies are going for all of us. Now, it reads in this translation of the I Ching. The text counsels both teacher and pupil. The youth must be conscious of his lack of experience and seek out the teacher. The teacher must wait to be sought out instead of offering himself. This is the correct relationship between teacher and pupil. The teacher's answers to a pupil should be clear and definite to resolve doubts and provide a basis for decision. But if mistrustful or unintelligent questioning is kept up, it serves to annoy the teacher. So there's a real calling at this time for all of us to be very aware of what kind of teacher, what kind of questions we are asking. what kind of questions we're asking of the universe, of our teachers, and make sure that we know that we are asking the highest questions for our development. Yes, so that's what I wanted to read from this translation of the I Ching. And then in my other favorite book, the I Ching by Stephen Karcher, this hexagram number 4 is called enveloping. And it comes at this energy from a different angle in terms of not knowing the answers. It reads, below the mountain, a spring emerges. Energy is returning below. Turn back to meet it. The answer is already there, but it is immature and has to be protected. So this also talks about that immaturity. So right now for all of us, there may be areas of our lives that are changing and developing so fast that there is a sense of immaturity. We know we are going in a direction, but we also recognize that we still have a lot to learn. And so it reads, don't pretend to know it already. Accept that you are allowed to be confused. Work on things gradually, like a plant bearing fruit. Don't do an aggressive action, but keep asking questions for growth. So again, this brings us back to asking the right questions, not taking too aggressive of actions without knowing the answers before we move. What you see as an obstacle is there to nourish your awareness and correct your one-sided view of things. When you really accept and understand this, you will most certainly become wise. So this is almost that analogy of the obstacle is the path. So if there's some kind of obstacle that we are viewing in our way at the moment, it is the path and it is there to bring us the wisdom. So that is the beautiful guidance from the I Ching today. And then lastly, I wanted to share 3 questions that is important for us to ask at the time of this new moon and also throughout this moon cycle. So you can take a screenshot of this, write this down, keep this, and come back to this throughout the month to help you with the wisdom that is unfolding for you. The first one is around our awakening. And the question is, where am I awakening and how can I best support myself in the most nurturing way? The second one is around choices. How do I make the best choices, not knowing the whole path? And thirdly, about power. Where am I opening to a new balance of power? And how do I allow this to best unfold? So that is what I wanted to share with you for this new moon today. It has been quite a hectic couple of days. I'm living in an area where it's been very, very stormy, and we've been without electricity every single day. I keep on waiting to film, and today I'm sitting here filming without electricity because we've been without electricity again since like 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's now midday. So I thought, let me just film and do it because I have to stop waiting. Please connect below with my offers. I am offering one-on-one sessions where I can really support you in times of change, in times of your own growth, where you may feel confused and uncertain. I'm here to support you. And I have a beautiful group offer of a Moon Wisdom Lab where you walk with me and a small group of people for a whole month, where you receive personal guidance and support. It is just a really lovely experience. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you again soon.